A couple of weeks back, one of our students, she went and met one of these, so-called God men. Have you heard of this God men? People who say that they are God or close to God, or some people call them Guruji. Those kind of people, right? People go and say, and these people predict things and say a lot of things. Right? So she went and met this person, and the person looks at this, says, you have got 2 kids. Then she goes like, yes, two kids. Then your business is in trouble. Yes, business in trouble. Like this, 2-3 things he said. Naturally, everybody is like, this guy is definitely God. Right? This guy is definitely God. Then he goes like, you are seeing only my body. I am powerful. You are not seeing the power inside me. You are only seeing the body. Right, so naturally the person, everybody's like, right? I can do miracles for you. Then he puts some ashes, and then the whole room, it's like incense burning and lights, and it's all done up in such a way that it is like amazing. Like it's like he has created a temple like a structure behind him. So naturally the atmosphere itself is like kind of eerie, right? Kind of spooky, right? So whatever he's saying, everybody is believing, right? And there are so many people going to him. And he says, no, I don't take money from anybody, but everybody goes and give him 1,000, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 donation, right? Because this guy is avatar of God, right? So naturally when you see the avatar of God, you have to put some money. See, what I want to tell all of you is that there are so many charlatans like this, or people who say that they are God. There's so many of them, especially in India. You will find so many of them. Right? 90% of them are pure fakes. 90% of them are pure fakes. Right? Now, and how are they doing this? Right? They are able to do some, they are able to tell who you are, what you are, and all that. See, what happens is that there is something called body language. Right? In police academies, they teach you body language, right? So if you want to be a policeman, right, or a crime investigator, right, they teach you body language. So policemen, when they ask criminals a lot of questions, they know from the answers whether the criminal is lying or telling the truth and all that. Okay, so we call it as non-verbal communication. So these guys are expert in reading non-verbal communication, right? So when you become an expert at reading non-verbal communication, and then you have done this with so many people, they become really good at this, reading non-verbal communication. So a lot of things they can even tell just looking at a person, right? And now on top of it, they would have done some background check of you also, right? They would do some background check of you. So naturally, when you come and he tells you things which you are already, you are surprised. Now you are predisposed to believing whatever he says, right? If he tells you that okay, go and jump into the well, nothing will happen to you. You'll go and jump into the well, right? Literally, this is what is happening in the world, huh? So you have to be very careful about these kind of people. Now, there is one other way. I told you about the 10%, right? 90% of the people are like that. Now there is 10% of people who genuinely have some psychic powers. That is only less than 10%, genuinely having some psychic powers. So how is this happening? So when we practice yoga, especially the spiritual yoga, right? Things like Kundalini yoga, Kriya yoga, Tantra yoga. In our temples, you have priests who do a lot of mantras, right? So it's all part of right-handed Tantra, right? So these people doing these pujas day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, what happens is that they develop some kind of extrasensory perception, right? Which enable them to read certain vibes, right? And then they can interpret these vibes, and then to an extent they can predict the future to an extent, right? But these are very rare, extremely rare people. And the real people who can do this will be only doing it to the benefit of the other people. They will not be sitting and making money out of this. The real people who can do this will not be sitting and making money out of this. They will be only advising people for the benefit of the whole society as a whole. Right? So, as and when I will tell you this also. As and when you practice yoga, so Asta is teaching you breathing exercises. This is all part of our Kundalini exercises, right? Breathing exercises, meditation. As and when you start learning these, what happens is that you will start developing this awareness, right? All of you. You don't have to go to a godman for that. If you are practicing these breathing exercises and eventually you start practicing Kundalini yoga or Kriya yoga or Tantra yoga, you yourself will start developing these qualities within you, right? For example, when you meet a person, right? You immediately get a feeling, okay, whether that person is good or bad, or whether there's something spooky about the whole thing, right? You immediately start getting this. Right? And then what happens is that as and when you progress in your Kundalini yoga, and as and when you deal with more and more people, this capability can be fine-tuned. Right? Capability of reading people can be fine-tuned. Okay, in the beginning it will be 20% of what you're thinking will be correct. 20% in the beginning. It will take years, but after some time, 90% or more, whatever you predict will come true about that person. But that takes years of practice, right? Now, as and when you start developing those skills, one thing you have to understand is that it is written in our Shastras, right? If you use those skills for your own benefit, right, you are going to lose that power, right? If, on the other hand, if you are using that for the welfare of the society, that power is going to increase and increase and increase and increase. This is written in our Shastras. Right? So next time you go and see all these godmen figures, okay, don't just blindly believe. They might say that, oh, your cat died 10 years back. And, really? Yes, my cat did die 10 years back. Right? Or my dog died, This is all, just doing some hoo-ha, making you convinced that, okay, they have the power of God in them. Don't trust any of these guys, right? Do your yoga, do your meditation, right? Diligently every day. Right? Eventually, you yourself, your mind will become that powerful. You don't have to depend on anybody. Your mind will become that powerful. Right? But it takes time. It takes practice. No shortcuts. Okay?